It's track reviews.
Hey everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a track review. I'm going to be talking about and taking on this latest song from WiLL Made It, Pharrell Williams, and Kendrick Lamar, set to be released on the new Creed 2 soundtrack. The Mantra is the title of this song. I actually saw the first Creed. I barely ever see movies. And that was a rare instance in which I saw one. And yeah, it was pretty nice. Michael B. Jordan, you know, he's coming up. I used to watch a really terrible family drama show that he was on, that I forget the title of off the top of my head, but some of you might remember it. But he's been doing pretty well with the movie roles that he's been in lately. But we're not here to review Michael B. Jordan's acting career. We're here to talk about this new single. So let's see what these guys have to offer coming together. WiLL Made It, Pharrell Williams, and Kendrick Lamar is quite the meeting of the minds. And it is popping onto a big budget movie soundtrack. At least I imagine the budget this time around is going to be bigger considering how successful the first one was. And clearly they had some money to throw away at music promotion to get some hot artists to create music connected with the film. So, you know, this could actually be great, or it could sort of be a phoned-in hot mess where everybody just kind of wanted to show up and get their check because it's for just a big movie, but whatever. Let's see what's going on. The Mantra. Ba-bam. God, I could not wait for that to be over. Jeez. I'm getting enough to watch me. Yeah, I mean, I know I said before I played this track, hey, it could actually be like pretty dope, pretty good, or it could be a totally phoned in mess where everybody's just putting in as little effort as possible just to make it sound like really bland and generic and listenable because it's going to be on a big soundtrack and, you know, just essentially be background music in the film or just connected to the film. And yeah, it's pretty much that. These are two of the worst and most underwhelming performances from Kendrick and Pharrell in a while. I would say especially Pharrell. Like, he pretty much just sounds like a tone-deaf SoundCloud rapper on this track, which is depressing. It's actually really sad that somebody with the talent and the foresight and the vision that Pharrell has and has proven to have through his solo efforts, through all of his production, through the Neptunes, through NERD, so on and so forth. Here, he just sounds completely anonymous and just sounds like every other SoundCloud rapper, SoundCloud crooner out there, and doesn't even really even live up to the bar of, like, let's say a Trippie Redd. I find Trippie Redd's vocal performances over production just like this far more compelling than what Pharrell delivered over here. Meanwhile, Kendrick, lyrically, he's just kind of asleep at the wheel. Like, there's not really anything all that interesting or sharp about his verse. When he kind of reached up into his upper, more nasal register and kind of sung his way through the second part of his bars, it sounded even more uninteresting, frankly. And the beat itself is just a really generic dime a dozen trap instrumental with a lot of very, I guess, smooth, glistening synth tones playing throughout it. There's really nothing all that special about this song. There's really nothing special or exciting about it at all. I wouldn't even say, in the case of the movie, is it all that pointed or topical. This just sounds like a generic pop rap tune. It's really unfortunate to see that these trap sounds over the years, since they really kind of broke into the public consciousness in the earlier part of this decade, have really just kind of been stripped entirely of their rawness, their aggression, their excitement, their electricity, thanks to tracks like this. Because this is just basically being produced for an audience of people who don't really listen to Ti. Don't really listen to the type of production that you might catch on like a Lex Luger track or something like that. This is really just really drab. I know I'm kind of repeating myself here, but I really have no other way to explain it or kind of get across to you. This is boring. This is lifeless. This is everybody just showing up to collect the check. Nothing lyrically or melodically interesting, instrumentally interesting or special about this track. Just listen to me. You're going to forget about it in a few weeks. Maybe even a matter of seconds with that Anderson .Paak record coming out around the corner. Anderson .Paak record's going to drop. You're going to forget the song even existed. It's been sort of unfortunate to not just see the sanitation of trap music happening more and more and more as we go deeper into the decade, but on top of it, to see a lot of the big name artists kind of buying into these movie tie-ins by coming out with music oriented toward the film, and they're just making these really generic, terrible tracks that don't have that much flavor to them. I mean, I could give it to the Black Panther soundtrack for at least having some good cuts on it. And even if it was a little overproduced, it did sound like they were coming out with coherent songs. All the Stars, that's a coherent and a catchy track. Again, a little overproduced, but it's still a coherent and a pretty captivating song. And even though I haven't really enjoyed Tyler's latest works for the Grinch soundtrack, I feel like it's a bit of a bit of a misfocus of his talent, in my opinion. It's my opinion, for him to kind of apply those Flower Boy sounds to, just the theme of the Grinch stole Christmas. But I mean, I could at least give him credit for it seems like he, in a way, was really inspired by the film and lyrically and topically, conceptually really wanted to focus on the film, the movie, in his lyrics and the music and try to embody it in some way, shape, or form. This track, to me, there's nothing really about this track that says to me, whoa, Creed 2. It just sounds like a really... I'm not even going to say the word generic again because I've already said it a million times because that's exactly what this track is. This is just truly throwaway. It's truly throwaway. And I'll just leave it at that. Over here next to my head is another track review that you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, Pharrell, WiLL Made It, Kendrick Lamar, The Mantra, Forever.